If you've ever walked out of an interview thinking, I should have sold myself better, or if you're preparing for an interview and asking yourself, how can I sell myself in my next interview? Then this video is for you. Look, you are not a product, you are a professional. And the interviewer, they're not looking to buy something. The interview, it's more like an investigation. And the person interviewing you, they're not a buyer, they're a detective. They're there to carry out a due diligence process on behalf of an organization. Think about it. Your salary is an investment. Your training, your responsibilities, your access to patients, clients, or data, that's a major decision. And the interviewer is representing that organization. Their job is to investigate whether you're the right investment. Another way to consider it is like this. Products come with warranties and investments come with risk. And that's exactly why interviewers ask tough questions. They need to mitigate that risk responsibly. It's their job to figure out, how do you think? How do you work? And what evidence is there that you'll succeed in this role? Your job isn't to sell yourself. Your job is to make that investigation easy. And in order to do that, you need evidence. Let me show you what that means. By the way, greetings and welcome. Happy to have you here. My name is Warren. I'm the founder of OmniInterview, where I help high achieving non native English speakers prepare for interviews with clarity, strategy, and professionalism. Something that I've seen over and over and over is that this mentality of I have to sell myself creates more anxiety than real progress. Let's think about what happens, what that actually implies. That implies that you're a product, the interviewer is a buyer, and your goal is to make them say yes by convincing them that you're valuable. And that sounds a lot like a performance, and performance comes with pressure. I've found that when people try to sell themselves, they often use way too many adjectives. I'm collaborative, I'm driven, I'm strategic. They end up talking a lot but saying very little, and they try to prove their worth instead of clarifying their experience. And this creates so much anxiety, especially for non native English speakers. The pressure to be persuasive in sales in a second language can be overwhelming. And persuasion is so important in an interview, but it doesn't come from saying the right buzzwords. It comes from clarity, it comes from strong evidence. I want to spend some time with that metaphor because I really, really like this metaphor. The interviewer is not a buyer, but a detective. They're not shopping, they're investigating. Their goal isn't to be wowed. You're not there to do magic tricks. It's to make a smart, high stakes decision. They're representing an institution. It could be a hospital, a company, an NGO, a nonprofit. And their job is to perform due diligence on whether you are the right investment. So they're asking themselves behind the scenes, can you handle the complexity of this job? Will you be reliable? Do your past actions and responsibilities and successes align with what this job actually requires? And your job, again, it's not to convince them, it's to equip them. And you do that with effective evidence. Think of it like building a case. You're not performing in a courtroom drama, but you are putting forward facts, details, and case studies from your career past that help someone else draw a conclusion. The clearer, more relevant, and more credible that your evidence is, the easier it is for the interviewer to connect the dots and say, yeah, this person fits. I've seen that when a candidate embraces the detective mindset, everything changes. You no longer need to oversell. You don't need to overtalk. You don't need to try so hard to impress. You're not there to entertain. You're there to help the detective understand how you think, how you operate, and how you solve problems. That's what makes a memorable candidate, not because they tried to sell themselves, but because they made the investigation easy and simple. One of the simplest ways to make your interview answers stronger for this investigation without sounding rehearsed or robotic is to make a shift from claims to evidence. Most candidates stop at the claim. They say things like, I'm organized, I'm a strong leader, I work well under pressure. Consider this for a moment. Why should the interviewer believe if someone says, I work well under pressure, that they do? Why should any of these claims be trusted? I think interviewers trust what they can see through your story. Let's walk through some examples of this shift from claims to evidence together. A possible claim would be, I'm great at working under pressure. But instead of saying that, instead of giving that claim, why not give a real world quick case study example? Something like that. Last year, I was part of a project with a 48-hour turnaround. At 24 hours, the client changed the requirements. So I had to get things running. I reorganized the workflow overnight. I reassigned priorities, and we ended up delivering on time. That's a moment of real pressure, and that's evidence. Here's another example of a claim that I hear a lot. I'm a strong communicator. What's more effective is showing the interviewer how communication actually helped you solve a problem, saying something like, in my last role, two departments had completely different interpretations of the same policy. I organized a cross-team working session, helped clarify the language, and aligned the teams on next steps. Maybe you're a very organized professional, and that's important in your role. A claim would be, I'm highly organized, but why should anyone believe it? It doesn't mean much on its own. Instead, give a quick case study example. During my final year of training, I managed a full caseload while leading two community health initiatives. I blocked out Friday mornings every week to do strategic planning and kept separate digital systems for my patients and my project timelines. Let's take a look at another claim that we turn into evidence. How about this one? I take initiative. So rather than asserting it, give the interviewer a clear picture and let them decide. You could say something like, we had a backlog in patient discharge summaries that was affecting continuity of care. I created a rotating documentation schedule and built a template that cut writing time in half. Let's take a look at one more claim, a classic one. I have strong leadership skills. And again, why should anyone believe that? Instead of just announcing that you're a strong leader, walk the interviewer through a moment when leadership was required and let them make a decision. For example, strong evidence here could be something like, when our team lead left unexpectedly, I stepped in to coordinate a deadline driven submission. I held daily syncs, delegated tasks clearly, and kept the team updated through a shared dashboard. We delivered on time and morale also stayed high. Here's the bottom line. Claims are slogans. They sound nice, but they don't prove anything. Evidence is what builds trust. Let's talk about a process that you can use to prepare this kind of evidence. First step, remove the claims, especially those that are just adjectives. Ask yourself, if I remove claims about teamwork, leadership, communication, how can I show these through short anecdotes about moments at work that forced me to use these skills or helped me grow these skills? So, step one, find the moments. Step two, choose a clear case study, not a summary, not a list, but one specific situation that shows your skill in action. And that's where credibility lives. As a third step, walk through what happened, what you did, why you did it. And the why here is so critical because it shows how you think. And that's what the detective is listening for in this investigation. For this kind of storytelling, there's a framework that I like to use, the OmniInterview I Start framework. I Start helps you organize your thoughts clearly and persuasively. It's simple, it's practical, and it works beautifully across a wide range of behavioral interview questions. It's a great tool to develop your case studies. If you're not familiar with iStart, I break it down with real examples in my video, Better Behavioral Interviews. Be sure to watch it after this one if you want to see exactly how to use this structure. And to make this even easier, I've created a free worksheet that walks you through the iStart framework step by step. You can request it using the link in the description. Totally free for viewers and a great way to start applying what you've learned. It's important to say that you don't need a story where everything was easy or simple. You need a clear story, even if there were challenges. And the I start is a great way to get there. This isn't a spotlight. It's not a moment to charm the audience or deliver a sales pitch. It's a structured, professional conversation, one of due diligence. It's one that gives you a chance to walk the interviewer through clear, specific case studies, moments that reveal how you think, how you solve problems, how you've grown, how you apply your skills that you'll show up with on day one to the work that you've done already and you already do and you're doing now. Think of it this way. Every question is a chance to offer a well chosen piece of evidence, something concrete, something useful, something true. Desperation doesn't work. Overpromising doesn't work. Selling yourself like a toaster or a used car, it doesn't work. You're not trying to win the interviewer over with adjectives. You're trying to persuade them with clarity. And the way you persuade is by giving strong evidence. You let the interviewer interpret it. You respect their intelligence. You give them the facts and you give them the information they need in the conversation. So, don't sell yourself. Build your case. Make the detective's job easy and let your evidence speak for itself. Take a moment to reflect on one answer that you've given or that you're thinking about for your next interview and filter it through this question. Am I selling or am I building a case? Am I giving claims or am I giving evidence? The story of your career is one that is definitely worth telling. And the best way to tell it, the best way to show the interviewer your skills is to show them, not to announce them, not to tell them. Get started now. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for watching.